I asked some folks to come to the square on a Friday mid-morning because they were taking pictures for an article that I got interviewed for the Marietta Daily Journal, and I appreciate the exposure it gets because whatever I can do to help folks in local businesses, nonprofits, just better connect the people here in Marietta, I'm going to do that. I'll tell you, we already have well over 43,000 downloads, so that's a real testament to the great things that we have going on here in Marietta and the great people. How does this sound? Full day of golf on Saturday, May 26, 2018, where there's contests, fun, food, and friends. I think it sounds great. It's Marietta's new Theater in the Square, only fundraiser for the year. And guess what? I'm going to be there too. And I'll talk to some of the golfers, and some lucky sponsors are going to get a show on Marietta Stories Podcast. So won't you check it out? Give Raul Thomas a call at 770-426-4801. And it's Saturday, May 26, 2018. First tee times 11 a.m. It's at the City Club in Marietta on Powder Spring Street. I hope to see you there.
Bring the museum back to life.
You know, people sit out on the front porch hoping people will come by.
Go forth and do good. It's insane. I have the most understanding wife in the world.
I treat everybody the same thing.
Oh, that's the other thing I love about Marietta. It's like a melting pot.
You are listening to Marietta Stories. Each week, veteran podcaster Bill Nowicki brings you the heartwarming, interesting, and fun stories from the people that make the community of Marietta, Georgia, a place to call home. Here's your host, Bill Nowicki.
All right, let's start with Matt. Matt Rooke.
Yep.
He was on, I can't remember what season, America's Chubbiest.
Most Chubby's dad.
This is too tough already. America's Most Chubby Dad. And how are you doing?
I'm not chubby. Chubby's is the name of the shorts. Is the name of the company.
Most, just say what it is.
I won the Most Chubby's Dad award, and I'm the first dad model for the Chubby's company, Chubby's brand.
How's that going for you?
It's been great. I got to go, as soon as I won the award, let's turn this way so I can see my kids.
Yeah, you have three boys.
3 boys.
You have one on your arm and the other 2.
That's right. Sam is now 20 months. Can you say hey? Say hey. We're still shy. Titus is 3, and Jude now is 5. I won this last Father's Day, so this will be my first. Technically, my contract started in January, so I haven't even. If you want to say hey, you can say hey. I've done a little bit of modeling. These guys have yet to do some, but
when's the next
trip? It's coming up. It's coming up in the summer, which we're just gonna when they say go. You got all this snot on your nose, and you got pictures.
We shouldn't have said snot. Sorry. I wanted to keep this clean. All right.
Sorry.
So you've been working though?
Yeah, I've been, sort of, a little bit. I got to go out to San Francisco and see my siblings, but at the same time go to the HQ and meet all the guys and I did a video that got almost 1 million views, which was nuts. I can't believe 1 million people would have watched me.
And you live in Marietta, Georgia?
And I live in Marietta, Georgia.
That's terrific.
I'm just a stay-at-home dad with 3 beautiful boys, and this is the award is them.
What do you like about your dad?
Say hey. Just say hey. Can't?
You can do it.
Let's get Jude over here. He should be.
All right, yeah, Jude's pretty. Let's talk to April real quick. April, come here. It's not on video. Don't give me those looks.
Well, Kelly's here taking pictures, so
right. You look very engaged.
I know. It's hard to do.
Well, tell me about what's happened in your life since you started Marietta Monograms since last we talked, right? Or were you already? No, you hadn't started that yet.
It was already in the works.
In your head?
In my head.
Right.
You know, I have Forshee designs also, but I knew when I moved into that office space, I would need to do embroidery for the public. It helps with cash flow.
And people love embroidery here in Georgia.
They do. It seems like everyone's looking for someone to help them with those types of projects, businesses especially. They just can't find anybody for some reason. So
well, they can find you at
MariettaMonograms.com.
Great. And you're on Etsy?
I am on Etsy for my handmade products, yes.
But the monograms is taken off compared to the other thing?
It has, yes.
I'm speaking at a conference and I need something Marietta Stories Podcast-ish. You think I should wear a hat with a Marietta Stories Podcast logo, or what would you suggest? So I want to look fairly cool.
So no polo shirt?
I don't know. What do you think? Could I pull it off?
I think a polo would look nice. And
What color polo shirt, given my logo black and green?
if your logo is black and green, which it is,
Come on, April.
I would say a black polo shirt or one of those.
Wouldn't it blend in? Maybe it would look okay.
Dark charcoal gray.
All right, we're going to talk more about it.
Yeah.
All right,
That goes with your branding, which is also what I like to help people with, is branding.
Really? So that's part of the whole package.
Well, yeah, I don't want to, if you come to me and you want a shirt with your logo, I'm not going to let you buy a shirt that doesn't fit with what your brand is. Then people get confused. It's like if you tried to stitch the Home Depot logo in bright green, it confuses people. So you want to stick with the main colors of your brand.
Cool. And if people remember your story, you used to drive down to Atlanta, which has gotten a lot worse since you probably quit, but now you're here in Marietta supporting local businesses with your business, and you still love it?
I do. It's been so fun going out and meeting people and, helping them build their business as I build mine too.
What's your biggest success story right now? Besides me.
Besides,
Go to me. I'm future success.
part of my success story, I would say, is I'm not as nervous to talk to people anymore because I've been out and I talk to people almost every day about these things. And
you've been on a podcast.
I have.
I'm sure help.
And I'm saying a lot less this time.
Well, I'll edit it out.
Good.
All right, let's check in with Pete. Pete Bush, thank you so much, April. Thank you for being part of the show. We're going to get recognized finally. Pete Bush.
Hey, Bill, how are you?
Good. Are you recovered from your latest adventure?
I'm on to more, always.
Well, let's talk about your last major thing.
Right, we did a huge open-air production of The Lion King on a playground with elementary school kids in
bad weather.
Oh, it was nuts. And 60 kids, 2nd through 5th grade, and they did amazing. And we're going to definitely revisit that production as we look to the future and go to other places and do other shows. Yeah,
great. What's coming up right now?
So we just launched a campaign on GoFundMe, GoFundMe.com. We're trying to get our own building. We feel like we've grown to that point. We want to reach more students and more performers and more schools and communities. Gosh, we got thousands of costumes and props in our house. We're trying to get available to schools and communities to use.
Good fire insurance?
Yes. Yes, I keep up with that. So we got that going on the GoFundMe, trying to get our own art center. Thanks to you, we're launching a podcast very soon, talking to people in the area about their creative process and their creative spirit and all the amazing people, the artistic and performers and the talented people here in our area. So we have that in the works. And
we're going to set a date on air so you can be held accountable.
I will. 2 weeks. 2 weeks.
Well, 2 weeks, which is May 18th, 19th.
Sounds good. I'm
all right.
good with numbers.
Let's shake on it.
All right. Thank you.
All right. Let's.
Awesome.
We got Jude Rooke here. What's new in your life?
Got some new toys and
what do you got planned for the summer?
going to Disney.
Are you really? Chubby shorts.
They are butchies. They are butchy pants.
Butch's pants. Is your brother? What's his name? I'm sorry. Titus. You want to say something?
Hey.
What do you got going today, Titus? You're not going to play in the fountain, are you?
Butchy pants.
Butchy pants. Okay. All right. You want to say something now?
Yeah.
You got to speak.
Say hey. All right.
You can do it. Okay. No, wait. I'm going to make him
say, you look kind of cute. Hey. Hey.
Maybe you poke him. No. He looks like in a daze. He's staring at the fountain. All right.
Well, thanks.
See you guys. Thanks so much. Yeah, he loves it. This is your favorite part of your life is being on Marietta Stories Podcast. Carey Cox, I have to thank you for being a sponsor for the last 3 seasons. So thank you so much down at Johnny Walker Realty. Where is Johnny Walker?
We are on Church Street, next door to State Bank and Trust.
Where is Johnny Walker himself?
Oh, today, right now? He's at a barbecue. He doesn't miss a barbecue.
Yeah, well, you guys are continue to get involved in this crazy Marietta real estate market.
Yes, sir. It's been a great market, been great to us. Community's been great to us, and we hope for many years of activity. Remain hopeful for that.
Yeah, and your business is expanding?
Yes, sir. We've brought on quite a few agents this year. Expect to take on a few more in the next coming months, and been a real good run.
So you're still doing work and managing?
Yes, sir.
So how much time do you have right now? How much work are you not getting done because you're talking to me?
I don't think about that.
Yeah, don't think about it tonight. What do you do on a Friday night to relax?
A Friday night to relax. So usually my wife and I go to dinner, and that's about it. That's about all the time I have.
Your brain cells are like, forget it.
No, it's just a nice quiet dinner, and I'm happy. But no, it's a fortunate thing to work a lot.
Why is that?
It means you're busy.
I see. Small business. Well, again, thank you so much for supporting this show. You've been great. I know you're one of my biggest supporters, and hopefully this Marietta Daily Journal article is going to help us reach more folks, let them know about what the great things are going on in the podcast world.
Yes, sir, and we appreciate you.
All right, take care, Carey. Do you guys know one another?
We just met.
Just met. I have Amber Markay Byrd.
Hello.
Say hi.
Hi.
And I have Christie Clark.
Hello.
You both have great radio voices. You ever thought about doing a podcast together, maybe?
Oh,
I'm always every time I see Amber, I come up with like 10 new ideas.
It's on. Let's get some ideas out and let's think of a name of our show.
There you go. Markay Gallery is always doing a lot of outreach stuff. You're doing what do you got going?
Actually, tonight we have a fashion show.
Really?
Yes, our artist.
For men?
It's for it could be for anyone. We have kimonos but it's fashions centered around the art that our artists make. Some of the fashions are hand painted, others are art inspired.
Oh, so maybe jewelry?
Yes.
Jewelry. See, I'm a little slow in the uptake. You gotta give me more clues.
Scarves, jewelry, clothing, dresses, skirts, you name it. But yes, outreach has been our number one goal. We've partnered with the Walker School. We've had KSU have field trips in the gallery. We're all about bringing art outside of the gallery into the community, and it's been a blast in our first year.
Yeah, it's been fantastic fun just watching what all you have going on, and I'm always hopeful that things are just going to take off for you. But it does take a lot of upfront work, just like the podcast or anything else, and it takes people to be involved and not just say, oh, yeah, I'd like to check it out. Oh, look, Netflix. They have to get out of their houses.
Exactly. It's you and I following our passion and having amazing community supporting local businesses and the heart of what makes this city, the beat of it all.
Yeah, and where are you located again? What street?
We're on Winters Street on the corner of Anderson and Winters. We're right behind the Art Museum, Tsunami, and the new barbecue hog place that just opened. So we're just in that corner, which we call the culture corner of Marietta Square.
I don't know how the hog fits in, but I'll go with it.
Yeah, the barbecue. There's a whole hog place that just moved in.
I'm going to go talk to them.
Yes, exactly.
All right. Well, I have a bunch of people standing around. It was a pleasure getting up with you again, Amber, and thank you so much for supporting the show and showing up.
Absolutely.
All right, Christie, what's up with you? Too slow.
I know, I am.
No. No, I'm just messing.
Enjoying the beautiful day. How about you?
I am too. I saw you were homeschooling.
Yes, of course. Always.
That takes a lot of effort.
Yes, it does. Takes a lot of fun. Springtime is awesome for homeschooling.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And the weather gets really good.
Oh, yeah. Lots of trips.
What do you do? What do teachers do when the kids get like that?
When the kids get
like antsy to go outside? Do you do class outside?
Well, we're always learning. So any type of field trip is going to be learning for us. So we just get out and go.
I got you. So what do you have going on with your business? Are you planning anything new?
Actually, yes. My best friend Jen Stark, she'll be talking to her. She and I are going to be...
I'm going to skip over.
Yeah, okay, skip over. She and I are going to be setting up a monthly gathering to bring people together, learn all about how they can grow their businesses through our relationships.
Great. All right. Well, it was good catching up with you. I'm going to say hi to everybody else.
All right, bye.
All right. Brielle. It's always a pleasure to see you.
How are you? Good to see you too.
Good. How's things in the bubble tea market?
Busy. Just finished Woodstock, and now we're working on our third location. So
right, you're doing the one in the new
Marietta Square Market. Yeah.
Right, and what kind of facility is that going to be?
So it's a food hall, and we'll be one of the vendors there, and we're going to.
Oh, similar to places like down in Atlanta.
Exactly, like a Krog or a Ponce. Yeah.
So were you the one that was checking out Krog Market? Did I see some post?
Yeah, we took Cassandra Buckaloo, our designer.
Oh.
Yep, and we were just checking out and getting some inspiration to how to turn our massive spaces into a 400 square foot space.
And what do you have something fun that you want to tease people with?
Sure. So we're not going to do the exact same menu that you see in our Woodstock or Marietta location, because this will just be a fun spin-off on Tiny Bubbles. So we'll be taking the concepts of bubble tea and Vietnamese coffee, but putting a unique twist on them.
Like
twist being a key word.
Interesting. And when is that going to be opening?
They say end of the year, but I never trust construction, so we'll see.
It doesn't look like all that much. There's no wall.
I don't mind if there's a delay. I'm busy.
Yeah, I bet. Well, I really appreciate you coming on. I know we've had you on a couple of times, but I'm so impressed with how well you've done so far and all the great things and integrating social media, getting people involved. I saw that video of all those folks outside your Woodstock location waiting to get in. I was like, man, I wish I could get those kind of folks to do something for me.
Well, thank you. You're a big, big fan and supporter, and you always make me feel like $1 million whenever.
I don't want to say you are worth $1 million, but maybe.
Maybe one day.
Maybe one day. Well, thank you so much for your time. Great seeing you.
Yeah, happy to support you.
All right. Hey, Crista McCay is here. I haven't talked to you in a long time.
It's been a while.
I know. I miss talking to you. What do you have going on in the museum?
We just opened a brand new exhibit last night called Pinning from the Past, Scrapbooking Before the Internet. And I thought, you do stories for people to listen with their ears, and scrapbooks are stories for your eyes. So reading, there's a lot of photos.
Why do I not feel like excited when I hear the word scrapbooking? To me, it sounds like cutting and stuff like that.
It totally is. It totally is cutting and pasting, which I am not a huge fan of, but the information inside those is amazing. A lot of historic photos of buildings that aren't around anymore. Oh yeah, great aerial shots of Marietta, and some awesome fashions.
And where did you get the scrapbooks from?
Majority of them came from either local clubs and organizations. We actually took a whole bunch from Marietta Parks and Rec Department. And then private individuals donated them. We have some previous mayors like Mayor Eastham and Mayor Vicki Chastain, who was the first female mayor of Marietta. And then, just ones that we've just gotten over the past 20 years collecting.
Wow. And looking through them, what's kind of jumped out at you? Something you didn't know or something that was exciting for you? Put you on the spot.
I think the fashions of Marietta's past are pretty amazing.
The 70s?
The 70s are pretty good, and I will tell everybody you need to come and see the photograph of the lace-covered toilet. I'll just leave it at that.
Wow, lace-covered toilet. I'm going to put that in the tagline for this show.
That's a good one.
Well, it was always a pleasure to see you. You have any cemetery tours coming up?
They'll be back in October.
Great. You got it just in time for Halloween. That's right. And you're probably doing your research, if I know you.
I'm doing my research right now. After the exhibit opened yesterday, research starts today.
Hey, what's the deal with Gone with the Wind museums moving out?
They have moved out, actually.
They're gone, like in the middle of the night, like the Baltimore Colts.
That's right. They are now over at historic Brumby Hall. So I would suggest everybody come and visit our place and then head over to their place or vice versa. Yeah, it's a great opportunity for Brumby Hall to now be open and people to explore that and also see the Gone with the Wind exhibit in a totally different way.
And try not to turn left on the path.
Yeah. Go down towards the light and then try to make the left.
Yeah, I wouldn't recommend.
I don't recommend that either. Or make a right and you turn somewhere else.
Right. Well, thank you so much, Crista, for showing up.
Thank you.
I love Marietta. I love the history. It's such an integral part of the city, and it's always great talking to you.
Good talking to you.
There he is, Michael. Can I break him away?
Chewing the fat.
Well, yeah. It's always good to chew the fat with Amber.
Yes, absolutely.
That didn't come out right.
No, I understood what you meant. I think she's awesome.
All right, Michael. Now we got 5 minutes or less. Tell me what all you got going on in the next couple months?
Well, Bill, probably the most exciting thing for me is finally my new book is coming out in October, first week of October. The University of Tennessee Press is publishing the book. And I just told Amber I'm ready for the baby to come to life.
And has it been through labor?
Yes. The labor has gone on long enough.
What's the book called?
Well, the working title right now is a quote from the soldier, in memory of self and comrades. And the subtitle is Thomas Wallace Colley, that was the soldier's name, Thomas Wallace Colley's Recollections of Service in the 1st Virginia Cavalry. And
that's the one you got all those records from
the journals when I went up and spoke in Virginia back in July of 2016. And it's really exciting because I got yesterday from the publisher my first look at the cover of the book. And I was very pleased with it. And I sent it up to the soldier's great-granddaughter who gave me all these journals. And when she saw it, she cried. She is just beyond happy. So
that's so cool.
That meant a lot to me because I sort of felt like since his family asked me to do this, I owed a lot to them, and I wanted to do it right. And so,
but don't you feel all that responsibility? Because like when I interview somebody, it's like, man, I want to make sure I get it right because this is somebody's life.
Well, you really do, and I mean, I feel like I've grown to know the man. I've basically lived with him for almost 2 years now. And
what would you say his character was?
Determined. Can-do attitude. I mean, let's face it, Bill.
They didn't have it easy, did they?
No. I mean, if you and I had our left foot blown off like he did, and, you know, he was wounded 3 times during the war. The final time led to the amputation of his left foot. He convalesced in a hospital in Richmond, came back home. The war ends. You would think, you know, you and I'd probably take up a spot in the rocking chair on the front porch. He becomes sheriff of the county and goes on to do all these incredible things. And his post-war accounts are just as fascinating as what he wrote about he did during the war. I mean, just a remarkable man. I mean,
yeah, I think you and I are in the same situation where when you start opening up the story and it just reveals itself, it is so much fun in it.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, and thankfully, when I did the transcription of his writing, thank goodness his handwriting was much better than mine. Because, you know, you've seen old documents too. Sometimes it's like almost impossible to decipher. His was actually fairly easy. But as was customary back in his day, you know, he'd write 7 or 8 pages and have no punctuation, no paragraph breaks. So I had to sort of determine logical break points and things like that. But I felt sort of under pressure because all of his family, his descendants, were looking to me to do this to honor him. So, you know, if it was something I was just doing on my own, I would still feel pressure because I want to do it correctly. But there was added pressure because of the expectations of his family. But
so you said that's coming out in the fall, and what time frame? October?
It'll be out the first week in October. So
you look very confident.
I am very confident. I went up to Knoxville and met with the publishing team about a month ago, and it also was very special to me because they are incredibly excited about this book. And they publish a lot of books, but I could just see it in their face. And they had a whole room full of people to greet me when I went to visit with them. So all your listeners can stay tuned. I'm sure I'll be doing book signings all over the area here. I'll be spending, obviously, a lot of time up in Virginia going to the sites where he fought, and many of them are National Park Service sites, battlefields, and so forth. So the PR team at UT is already lining up all these book signing events. So,
well, good thing you like to talk.
Well, you know.
You like talking about this stuff, too.
You and I do have a lot in common, Bill. It's great.
I've been listening most of the time.
Yeah, it was great to see you again.
It was great seeing you, and thanks so much for supporting the show. You've been anytime I ask for something, you're out there.
Well, hey, thank you for what you do to tell all the wonderful stories we have here in the community. And
just getting started.
Well, you're keeping it alive, and I appreciate that very much.
We're in the same business, sounds like.
Yes, absolutely. You take care.
All right, you too. I forgot to mention Jen Stark's name before I talked to her, but this is Jen Stark. She was on season 3, and they actually have the highest number of downloads for season 3. Jen Stark and Christie Clark were on that episode. He keeps talking about everybody else, but
Stock him and hook him up with all of my friends that need to know all about his business.
See, he has a marketing problem and he has a podcast execution problem.
My favorite dilemma.
I do have problems. Thank you.
Yeah, no, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to put it that way, but I tried to help. But you should go to one of his shows. It is remarkable, and it's like
on the playground.
Oh, it's remarkable what he does, and he has great sound system, lighting. He has all this help, and it's what theater should be, which is a bunch of kids that love doing what they do, and people that work for Pete work with him. Really, he brings together a great crew, and I was so just talking about a podcast. Like, I got to go check this out, and it met all my expectations.
I can imagine, and just making it.
Why I gave the mic to you, I don't know.
But making it accessible to so many people that have a certain mindset of what theater is, and being able to get it started at an early age and tap into that creativity, because then the kids feel inspired to do it and bring it home instead of doing electronics and getting fixed in staying inside, and they're starting to get imaginative outside. So I love that.
Well, the piece that really struck me about his interview is he sees things in kids that they don't see, like when he has them and they get them started on that road, like, oh, this kid can dance, he can sing, and they don't even recognize that about himself. And that to me is what a good teacher, coach, somebody that's trying to transform the way you live and show you a whole different way of life. And to me, we don't do enough of that. Maybe you guys do a homeschool.
Well, that's for sure, and being able to...
But you're pretty tired. You get tired. You don't get tired?
Nah.
I'm tired. I'm tired talking to you.
That means you're playing hard.
I didn't mean to... What you like... What?
When you're tired at the end of the day, it means you've been playing hard.
All right. Well, Pete, I know you got to get back to school. Kincaid Elementary. Check them out. psbcreative.com. All right. Always good. Always good seeing you. I'm glad you've made it through your Lion King.
I got big stuff. We're good.
Big stuff. Big stuff. All right. Isn't Pete great?
He's fantastic. I'm so inspired already.
Yeah, that's why I do these things. I get inspired. I don't really follow up and do my own thing as much, but guys like Pete are really inspirational to me. So tell me about what you have going on, Jen. You just came back from a big thing.
I was just at the convention, and
was it Utah or someplace?
Salt Lake City, yes. And actually it was really cool because they brought it down to this greater mission that we haven't tapped into in a long time, which is basically raising the vibration around the earth and delivering kindness on a very small scale, and allowing our system to be accessible to everybody, because you just never know. They talked about the butterfly effect and how one little act of kindness, one gesture, one smile, one extension of hand can then trickle down through the line. It can make someone's day, it could change their life. You just don't know. And to me, that's exactly why Christy and I were inspired by Send Out Cards at the beginning, and to see them come full circle to that was amazing.
Well, great. Is that all? So you're trying to change the world through the butterfly effect, vibrations, and then raise 2 kids, or is 3 kids?
I've got 4.
4 kids. I'm sorry, I missed a couple there. So where are your kids right now? You're getting me nervous.
Well, right now they're with a babysitter because I want to be able to focus. Otherwise, my toddler is known to go running in the street.
Wander off.
He does. He's a wanderer, and I know better than to bring him to something where I'm giving other people attention.
That's good. No, I'm excited for you guys, and it sounds like you're starting a meetup thing. That's what Christie said.
Oh yes, yeah, we're trying to gather a group of people.
What the?
We're trying to get people consistently, monthly, to be able to come around and talk about things, be specific on the agenda, and be able to...
Accountability.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's important, and it doesn't have to be huge, but just intentionally and consistent each month, just to put it on the schedule. So
yeah, we're our own worst enemy a lot of times, wouldn't you say? It's like we start thinking about one thing, go in 5 different directions, and then we never get any of them done.
That's really true, especially for people that get inspired like we do.
I know. I'm easily distracted. But, what's nice about it is the podcast episodes always have a beginning, middle, and end. So that's good.
That's right. I can't wait.
And I think we're getting to the end of this.
I can't wait to see what the next season has. It's going to be awesome.
How do you know?
Because when you lead with your heart, new opportunities come along, and you've only interviewed a handful of people here in the community, and there's so many more stories to tell.
And I need bigger butterflies, I think.
Huge butterflies.
Where do I get some bigger butterflies?
Just keep hanging out with me.
Oh, boy. But I don't think you're going to get a babysitter every time I ask you. How are we going to handle that?
We're just going to have to figure out a way to incorporate them in the show.
You know what I love about a microphone is I can ask any question and they will attempt to answer it. And I put them on the spot. Anything else you would like to? How's your husband doing?
Fantastic.
Yeah. All right, good. Well, it was great catching up with you guys, and I'm glad I had you on the show, and I'm glad for what you're trying to do. You meet 9 a.m. at the Cool Beans, I was going to say cafeteria, Cool Beans Coffee Shop here in Marietta Square. Anybody can show up, and you start them on the road to something, to the rest of their life, wherever they want to go.
Mm-hmm.
All right, thank you guys.
Thank you for all you're doing. You're seriously making a really positive impact on the community, and we absolutely appreciate you.
Thanks once again for listening to Marietta Stories Podcast. We'll have a new episode out next week. Until then, if you go to the podcast app, you can subscribe. And if you wouldn't mind, tell a couple friends about the show so we can spread the word. Thanks.